Discounted Reviews, and I just woke up. Literally, I woke up, I brushed my hair, I got my coffee, and that's about it. I kicked the camera on. So this is going to be obviously a little bit different. Number one, because I just woke up, you're going to get a deeper voice out of me than usual. But also I'm probably going to be rambling more. But even so, this is something that's been preying on my mind for a little bit now. And it's been a while since I've made a video like this, just kind of generally stepping away from horror, stepping away from movies entirely, and just talking with you outside of the vlogs that I've been doing for the patrons. So something's been on my mind, and with the CDC guidelines that got released yesterday, I actually wish that I had spoken up a little bit earlier, even a day earlier. But I guess that's why I'm not waiting any longer, and I'm kicking this on while I still have sleep in my eyes. We are entering into an unprecedented time. And the one thing that I really want to advocate for more than anything else is patience. This is a situation that I've been through. I've been on the world, spinning on this planet for almost 41 years now. And I've seen my fair share of world-altering events. And, you can kind of tell when they hit that nothing is going to be the same on the other end of it. And sometimes you have an event that has a rubber band effect. You know that things are going to snap back, but even so, once it does, it's never going to be as it actually ever was. You just know that, there's a temporary level of living. And, once we get to the other end of that, then we have to figure out what that looks like. And that's where we're at now. We've encountered this as a nation before, during wartime, previously when wars were felt, more on the ground level of every, city and, county in the nation, that kind of thing, when we had to shift manufacturing and, had icons like Rosie the Riveter and so forth. Not a lot of people talk about, what happened in the early 40s when the war was over and it was time for the guys to come home, and for the women that took the manufacturing and industrial jobs, and God, hats off to them for that, what that looked like in the dynamic power shift of just everyday households. And the answer is, it wasn't easy. And this isn't going to be easy either. So we're going to be entering into a stage where things are going to be trying to get back to normal. And I hate that phrase because I hate I hate normal in general. But the real newsflash is we're not going to be getting back to how things ever were. Not entirely. We're going to be moving forward and shaping what that looks like in the process. But, we've all been wanting to go back to the theater. We've all been wanting to, hang out with friends in a mass group setting, parties, weddings, what have you. And the thing that I want to speak towards more than anything else is patience. Patience and compassion, empathy more than anything else. Because here's what's going to shake out. It's not going to take the snap of a fingers or the blink of an eye. This is going to be a very slow and a very gradual process on a number of levels. So, patience, just overall, just take it within yourself and try to remember that. Almost make it a mantra for yourself. Patience, because this is going to take time. And specifically, a number of things, honestly. We're talking about things from going into the office and having that one coworker that isn't, taking their mask off. Everybody is going to be dealing with the mask issue in their own time, with their own comfort level, and the mask isn't hurting anybody. So whatever patience and understanding and compassion and empathy we need to employ, now is the time to embrace that, because this is a traumatic event. Those of us that have isolated, and especially those of us that have lived in big cities that have gone on major lockdown and have still had to interact with folks in essential worker settings or just general office settings, whatever the case may be, if you have had to be around a lot of people and you've been masking up over the last year, that's going to be a tough thing to relax. That's going to be a tough thing to let go of. And there's going to be people that, honestly, I'm one of them that's questioning, when will my time be? When will I be able to let this go? Because I got the news for you. It ain't today. I'm looking at my county vaccination numbers, and New York State is all sorts of different shades of medium to dark blue. And then there's my county, one of the only light blue holdouts. Our vaccination rate isn't nearly where it needs to be. And there's a battle of misinformation going on there. I'm not going to get into that, but just suffice it to say that the world around me on a very localized level doesn't feel comfortable enough for me to do that. And then we have folks that are making the very valid claims that, hey, you know what? This is hygienic. I haven't had a cold or a flu in a year. And there's something to be said for, maintaining your hygiene, washing your hands regularly, preventing the spread of germs from one person to another through the use of a simple cloth on your face. Maybe this isn't all, maybe it's not so bad. And, it will, there's the entire, possibility. Before this whole thing happened, we were seeing, B-roll clips of people, walking down the street or going on the subway or the train in Asia, in various different countries. And, a lot of them were wearing masks. That was a daily part of their reality. And I have a feeling that that may be the case for the rest of the world, that there might be a microcosm or even a good chunk of folks that are going to be wearing their masks. And I think that we just, we need to have the patience and the empathy to understand that that is a personal choice and that is where they're coming from. And that's nothing that we really need to be harping on them about, bugging them about, or in any way isolating them. This doesn't have to be the star-bellied sneetches. We can all exist. And patience goes beyond that. It's not just the mask issue. It comes down to a lot of things in terms of this reconstruction, this relaxation, and figuring out what the image of the world is going to look like. You follow content creators, I'm sure. You're watching this on YouTube. I'm almost 100% sure that I am not the only channel that you subscribe to. And if I am, what the fuck? Go subscribe to Spooky Astronauts, Nightmare Maven, Mythical Kitchen. There's a whole lot of good shit out there. But the fact is, all those people that are creators, myself included, are figuring out where they're at. I've been working remotely for over a year. And at some point, I'm sure on some level, I'm going to have to physically go back into the office. And that's going to affect content creation. Not terribly. It's just, I did this while I was working in the office before. It's just being, physically away from the studio space, away from the camera, so on and so forth. It means that things are going to have to be figured out within the structure of a separate schedule and environment. And that's going to take some time to figure out. Patience. Moreover, a lot of the creators that you follow, I'm sure, are from all around the world. If you do follow Spooky Astronauts, she's in Perth, Australia. They have their own rules. People in Canada, people in Germany. Every nation has its own rules and so forth about what's locked down, what's not, what's relaxed, what's not, when they're going to allow various what have yous. And if 3 months from now you notice that one of your favorite YouTubers is not uploading nearly as much, patience. they are probably at their point of figuring out what their life looks like in this reconstruction. So this is going to take a little bit of time and heart for all of us to get through. And we all need to remember that behind every screen and every face and every mask, there is a human soul. And that human soul is going through their own trials. They very well may have lost somebody or many people in this last year. And the notion of asking them to get on the same level that you're at, on a schedule basis, on a personal health basis, on a personal choice basis, is irresponsible and lacking the compassion that's needed for all of us to make it through this. So, when we see things like people going to the theaters and we still can't, it's going to spark some jealousy. It's just natural. But remember that your time hopefully will come. And one person's enjoyment doesn't necessarily have to take away from yours. Another thing is, if you're going to the theater, don't spoil shit. We've seen the simultaneous theatrical release with VOD release, and that's going to be kind of splitting apart, and the theaters are going to have the upper hand once again. I got shit in my hair. Why didn't you tell me that? So, yeah, don't spoil shit. I mean, come on. Just don't. That's not cool. If you're on Discord and you're having a chat, there's spoiler rappers. Just look them up. Anyway, I think that this is about rambly enough, but that's pretty much what I wanted to say, is that this whole thing is going to take some time, some heart, and in that we need patience and compassion. We need a showing of the acknowledgement of the humanity beyond or in front of that time and in front of that heart. So, I hope you're well. I hope that you've made it through this. I hope that we can continue to rebuild and grow and learn from one another. And I will see you hopefully on through the end of this, and we can figure out what the world will look like post-COVID and how we want to advocate for our elected officials. I'm not going to get terribly political here, but this is kind of necessary for our respective elected officials and the people in whatever representative government that you belong to adequately prepare for the next round. May it be COVID or the next strain of influenza or whatever. It's clear that worldwide we were not prepared for this. And given all of the signs that were on the horizon, that is inexcusable and a million times inexcusable if we don't take the lessons from this one and prepare for the next one, because it's not a matter of if, but when. And we need to be prepared. So once we get through this, once we start, brushing the dust off and standing back on our 2 feet and getting steady and, finding our purchase again, we need to start the preparation and contact our elected officials in your government body to make sure that your nation, your state, your county, all of it is making the necessary preparations. So I think that that's about as much soapboxy as I'm going to get. Thank you again for watching this. Thank you again for supporting my channel and helping me through this, because it's honestly just making these videos have kept me sane over the last year. I hope that I've put a smile on your face, and I'm going to keep creating content. I don't know to what level. We'll see how things shake out. We'll see what the schedule looks like. We'll see how things go. Yeah, take care of yourselves. Please take care of yourselves. Talk to you soon.